Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Dean, let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is October 3rd, 2025. And right now, we may be looking at Bitcoin's blow off top. Many people talk about a blow off top. We're going to talk about what that is actually, right? Not just what people think it is, but what it actually is, and why this may very well be it. And what should we expect next in the immediate short term for Bitcoin? Also, we're going to look at altcoins because if you've been paying attention throughout your watch lists, there are some altcoins that just seemingly randomly move 30, 40, 50%. We're going to look at why altcoins are on the brink of an explosion. Guys, if that all sounds interesting to you, then watch until the very end. Hope everyone's having a great day. It's Friday and Bitcoin's at a local resistance, so it should be interesting, if anything, right? Let's get into it. 4-hourly time frame, we have Bitcoin in what I've suggestively labeled here with our bearish reversal pattern, our magenta head and shoulders, bearish reversal pattern with 3 tops here. Right, here are the facts. I'm like everyone else. I'm looking at this price action and I'm trying to make sense of it. That's it. And, I would say what separates me from many other analysts, not from all analysts, but many other analysts, public-facing analysts, is that I'm not just concerned with what Bitcoin did in the past 24 hours, past 48 hours. That's cool, but I'm looking at the context of what just happened, and I'm trying to piece it together and make a synoptic picture of what's more likely than not going on. Okay, so here I, in the same way, will sort of look at this in context of what's happened in the past year. In the past year, Bitcoin has been in this right here, this channel, and then it jumped above this channel and did something like this. Okay, if I'm a Wyckoff adept, right, somebody who studies Wyckoff analysis, to me this screams UTAD, upthrust after distribution. Okay, it's basically the final step before this move right here. That is the actual what's it called, the motive wave that ends the distribution channel. Okay, and the whole distribution process, has taken, in this case, almost 330 days. All right, so this is extremely important. We don't need this right here anymore, but this is extremely important. So I really want you to see what I'm trying to see. If I'm an adept of Elliott wave analysis, okay, and I'm really nerdy about that, and I know about A/B basing, which many people don't, I understand that I have here 1 degree of A/B basing, 2 degrees of A/B basing, I've labeled these, and a pivot. Okay, so I have 3 pairs of A/B bases. So to me, having studied Elliott wave analysis, studied Wyckoff analysis, this is an extremely likely bearish result, right? What we're looking at right here, past 330 some odd days of price action, should yield this right here. Okay, a big motive, purely impulsive move down. Okay, and remember, when we're talking about pure impulse, that suggests it's going fast and it's going much further than most people think, and it only rests on true support. So whenever we may find intermediate support like midline of this 300 and some odd day channel. That's cool. It may bounce there, but it's not going to stop there. It's going to keep going down until it finds true high time frame support, and that exists only, in my estimation, around 55 to 60K, that area. Okay, I'm not going to do all that analysis, but we're just looking at this, right? So now let's focus on this and let's take into account what just happened in the past 24 hours. All right, and this is how I do my analysis: high time frame, small time frame, and I think that yields the best results. Does it always give you the fastest, most what I want to say? It doesn't always give you the most immediate satisfaction, because you don't always see your results immediately, but it actually gives you good perspective and keeps you relatively safe with the bigger plays, right? With your bigger plan, because your idea tends to be correct more often than not, given that it's following high time frame moves. Okay, you're not looking at the small time frame only. You're looking at the small time frame in context of the higher time frame. So let's look at this purported pivot, as I call it in Elliott wave analysis, or UTAD, upthrust after distribution, in terms of Wyckoff analysis. If you're interested in these things, go ahead, Google them, research them. Upthrust after distribution, or a pivot in Elliott wave analysis, would look like basically a final sequence or a final pair of corrective patterns. And I've said this before, this to me right here looks like an A wave. That to me looks like a B wave. When you look at these corrective patterns, you pair them together. One does not exist without the other. The other point is that once the pair is complete, then it's finished. So to me, this is a bold claim. What we've been looking at Bitcoin doing for the past 300, let's get the exact, so let's look at this. It's technically started here, I believe. So let's just say 300 days. What we've been looking at Bitcoin doing for the past 300 days finally resolves here. Think about this. I want you guys to appreciate this, because I do this for a living, and I answer to my clients, I answer to corporate clients sometimes, and not everybody has the same perspective, because what do you know? Some people have no idea. Their expectations are that, okay, if you're a good analyst, you should tell me exactly what's going on, and that thing should happen and result in what you said would happen tomorrow or a week from now at the latest. Understand that this entire move took 300 days and is only now resolving. Technically speaking, this is the result of, if we do see this move, and it's likely that we see this move, this will have been the result of 300 days. It's not some random, somebody said this, and so the market got scared. No, it's the result of 300 days of distribution. And like I said yesterday, Bitcoin actually doesn't want to be here. I don't know how many people believe me, but trust me, Bitcoin doesn't want to be here. This right here, this area is a danger zone. Looking at this UTAD, looking at this pivot, whatever you want to call it, even if you have no interest in Wyckoff or no interest in Elliott wave analysis, let's say you're just a pattern trader, you should be quite concerned with the the high likelihood of this being some sort of head and shoulders pattern, and this being the right shoulder, ergo the last sequence of corrective moves in the head and shoulders pattern. Okay, so that's what this looks like to me. It looks ultra bearish. Even if you don't do pattern trading, let's just say you're a levels person. Look, this is a level where Bitcoin got rejected once, twice. This will have been the third time, right? You got summarily rejected and you made a double top. Third time's a charm. In technical analysis, when you do this, it typically doesn't fare well for bullish continuation. You have three tops here, and this level is historically, and when I say historically, I mean since July, mid-July, has been very bearish for Bitcoin, right? It has been a level where technically you have a lot of sell orders, people selling Bitcoin here, a lot of orders. And it's not, again, please don't misunderstand. It's not that we get here and then people decide, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to sell Bitcoin. No, it's in the order books. There are orders to sell Bitcoin historically there, and they're piled up. They can either be limit orders for people short selling. They could be people forced to, go to sell because their stops got hit. Because I don't know, maybe some people want to long the top and they think that, okay, this is the beginning of much higher levels, so they go long here. As crazy as that sounds, people do crazy things, right, with leverage. So many different possibilities, but all I'm saying is that there's liquidity here at these levels, and that liquidity's been captured. Now that that liquidity's been captured, what's next for Bitcoin? The most likely scenario for Bitcoin from just the price action read to me is that we come down to 100K. Okay, I don't think we're going to go in one fell swoop. I think we're going to take a pit stop at around 107, and that'll be a wave 4 sideways flat correction. So we're going to hang out there, but then we're going to resolve the entire move down at around 100K. And the reason I'm saying this is because if this is indeed the first move in the big move down that Bitcoin is likely to experience down to our next level of support, a real level of support of 55 to 60K, then the first move is going to be breaking down to the bottom of this channel and then retesting the midline of this channel. Because remember, we've been in this channel right here, this top channel, for 89 days. And so channel trading would suggest that the midline has to now be treated as resistance. So you have to treat the midline as resistance before leaving the channel. And so I think this is the move I would look for. Like here. Boom, boom, boom. Okay, from the top here. That's your first wave in the massive wave down to between 55 and 60K. And like I said, there's a lot of liquidity here. And okay, this level right here, 106, 107, represents the bottom of this channel. So you're going to hang out at the bottom of this channel. But we know in channel trading, the move that breaks the channel. And so you're going to do it from the top, but you're not going to completely break the channel. You're going to break back in because you have to retest the midline, the heart line, the point of control as resistance. And so you're going to hang out here. That's what I think is likely to happen. Again, boom, 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 boom. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing for Bitcoin. It's not good. And a lot of people do believe that this is the beginning of much more, when in actuality, it's a massive bull trap. It's a massive bull trap. Because the higher it goes here, then the lower the first target is. And we identified yesterday all the elements, all the reasons for which this move right here is not a sustainable move. Even what we got most recently today, you can see the lack of solidity, the lack of... It's so fake. It's so corrective. I don't like the word fake in technical analysis because it's not descriptive. It's super corrective, right? It's part and parcel of this flat correction right here. And so do expect what we call a swing failure pattern, where you retrace the move in its entirety. And that is really a max pain event, because think about it. This was the short squeeze. This is the long squeeze. And then another short squeeze. And then, yeah, I mean, this is how price action works. This is how price action works. It goes up and down and up and down. And in so doing, it captures liquidity left and right, up and down and center. And it just feeds like that. And everybody's punished that doesn't have the high time frame map in mind. If you're too focused on what's happening on the small time frames, you get punished, whether you're long or short, whether you're bullish or bearish. So please understand that. This is, to me, the most likely scenario for Bitcoin in the immediate short term. And so in the medium time frame, extremely bearish, as I said yesterday. These levels are not sustainable. There's extreme amounts of imbalance in the chart. You'll see it in a second on the liquidity charts, and do expect that to be corrected, because markets are ultimately, over time, fair and balanced. They are. Look at any market over time. You'll see buyers and sellers both had opportunities. You always have opportunities in a market. There's never only one way. It's just a question of when and how that is going to look. How price is going to matriculate in both directions. All right, let's have a look at the Coinglass liquidity data. And here again, I'm on coinglass.com, free for everyone to use. I don't have a paid account. And I'm looking at the model number 2, which is my favorite. I'm looking at the 3-month chart for Bitcoin. This is the super chart again, amalgamating all of the major exchanges. And here you can see that, just like I said many weeks ago, it's likely by hook or by crook that we come up to this high time frame. I called it what did I call it? I called it all-time high, the all-time high level. I said we're likely to come back to the all-time high level because that's typically what you see. Basically, in a UTAD, in any time price is going to go in one direction impulsively, it typically goes in the opposite direction and goes quickly and then reverses course. And also, I pointed out here, you can see very clearly 1, 2, 3. You tend to see 3 tests of a level. This is the 3rd test, and I believe it's the final test. That liquidity at 120 has been captured, and it's all well and good. The next point, the next level is down around here, 106, 107. That's where your third target, or your third wave ends, in my estimation. Between where we're at right now in Bitcoin and 107, you have a liquidity desert, i.e., don't be surprised if it just flies down there, because there's nothing in between there. It only stops or takes a break around 106, 107, and I do believe that it continues around 100. So that move's not going to be finished. A lot of people are going to think it's finished around 106, 107. Remember that. Then it's going to continue to 100, more likely than not. And it's probably going to be, timing-wise, I feel it's going to be Sunday pre-market, and it's going to be stuck around 106, 107. And then people are going to think, okay, now it's time to go back up, because it goes top to bottom of the channel, right? This channel that we've been in for 90 days, up and down and up and down. And people are going to be going long at around 106, 107 with their stops around 105, 104, something like that. And then market opens for Monday, and then it just, boom, keeps going down. And people are going to be shocked, and they're going to be like, wait, what? Huh? And back to what I was discussing in the teaser, in the open. What do we call a blow-off top? This is exactly that. A blow-off top is any move. It could be wave 5, it could be any capitulative wave that goes up before the eventual move down. Okay, a blow off top is not necessarily, it's, first of all, it's bearish. Anything that's called a blow off top is bearish because it swings. Think about it. It swings up and swings back down with the swing failure pattern. So when you think blow off top, think swing failure pattern. Think this. Boom, boom. That's a blow off top. You do not want, a blow off top is not a good thing. A blow off top is not a sustainable thing. A blow off top is not something you trade. Anybody who says, oh, we're waiting to trade the blow off top has no idea what they're talking about. And if it's a wave 5 and it's going for months, that's not a blow off top. That is not a blow off top. That's a wave 5. I'm talking small time frame. You go and you swing fail that entire move in a short amount of time, giving market participants that went long and not enough time to reposition themselves, not enough time to get enough profits to make it worthwhile. The people who are long Bitcoin here have gotten a whopping, let's measure really quickly, 13% from the lows. If they position themselves all the way at 109, they've gotten 13%. That's great. 13% is awesome. But like, what's the position size? Is 13% anything to write home about? What's the amount of leverage that they're using if they're levered, right? If the position is leveraged, maybe that 13% isn't enough. That's the idea, that most people who are in this move probably didn't get the bottom, but if they did, that 13% is not, they're not satisfied by it. So they're still going to be in the move. So the blow off top is going to swing fail most market participants down and out of the position, because how many of them want to take profit here? If they got the bottom, most of them didn't get the bottom. They probably got the mid or whatever. Do you see what I mean? Swing failure pattern is a pejorative. It pretty much means a bull trap, right? Or sorry, a blow off top pretty much means a bull trap, not an extended cycle wave 5 that lasts months or a year. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. Now, Bitcoin, likely bearish in the medium time frame, likely not a good place to buy, and it's a very high probability, like I said yesterday, that we are to get, right, especially going into a weekend, it's Friday afternoon now, we're to get this move completing this head and shoulders pattern. Okay, now what about altcoins? Dean, you're scaring me. Bitcoin going down to 55 to 60K, starting a purely impulsive move to the downside and all that stuff. What about my altcoins? You said my altcoins were going to pump. Yes, absolutely. And let me start with this. Look at others' dominance. What do you see here? Okay, let's go on the daily time frame. Others' dominance is still exactly where we put it, or we left it rather. It's at support. Very, very, very encouraging. The stochastic RSI momentum indicator is double bottomed, and you have a nice looking multi-week basing pattern at support. It's altcoin season, not Bitcoin season. So your idea of being afraid of Bitcoin retracing makes sense in Bitcoin season, but in altcoin season, the parameters are different. In altcoin season, you have your random altcoin just, oh, I'm ready, and it's gonna go, it's 50%, and it just starts going, it's 50%. Prove it to yourselves, look throughout your watch lists. Furthermore, in altcoin season, Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down, but maybe not as much. Bitcoin corrects up, altcoins fly up. Don't be afraid of Bitcoin going down in altcoin season. This is what this chart, crypto dominance, or sorry, the others dominance, is telling you. It's telling you that the next likely move for the others dominance is up. If this goes up, you should not at all worry about what Bitcoin's doing to the downside. Understand that if Bitcoin goes down, yes, everything else goes down, but not as much. You want to focus on what those actual assets are doing. And I want to qualify that statement. This is, of course, only for bullish assets. Not everything's bullish. There are some altcoins that are extremely bearish, and they are going to act like it's Bitcoin season. As Bitcoin goes down, they're going to go down even more. It's up to you to identify which altcoins are bullish and which altcoins are bearish and position yourselves accordingly. All right. Last but not least, let's look at why you should be really excited for what altcoins are doing. So, Bitcoin's next move, immediate short term, is likely to come down to whatever I said, 106, 107, and then subsequently 100. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm looking at. That's what I believe, given the present, given the most recent data. Now, what about altcoins? Altcoins too are going to come down, but not as much. Again, Bitcoin sets the trend. So if Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down. But altcoins are likely to come down only modestly, and I'm talking again about the bullish altcoins, to this level right here. What is that level? So again, look at how bullish this is. This is, my friends, a beautiful inverse head and shoulders bullish reversal pattern. Remember, this is the others chart. This is basically what most altcoins are going to do. They broke out from this inverse head and shoulders. They hit a high time frame resistance. This is 500 days of resistance. Wait for the retest, and that's when altcoins go insane. Okay, and I'm talking about from here, on average an 80% move. If that is an on average an 80% move, some altcoins may do 200%, others may do 70%. This, on average, this retracement in altcoins is a modest one. It's about a 7% move, 6.5% move in the aggregate. Some may move 9%, others may move 12%, 20%, others may move only 5%. But this is what this others chart is telling you. This is an indicator. It's an aggregate sort of depiction of what is likely going on in the altcoin space. You should be extremely bullish in bullish altcoins and wait for this small retracement before expecting massive moves. That's what this chart is saying. Guys, that's my analysis. Hope this was helpful, useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider my crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation service, where you can trade directly with me, 2-hour calls, monthly, periodic updates, signals on all the assets that we trade, high time frame, high probability support and resistance levels where you can snowball your profits, all that stuff and more. So, and also some exclusive, never publicly shared analyses on certain altcoins like Ethereum and Cardano and stuff like that. Things that I used to do, years ago publicly, but that I've refined as I've gotten better, that I do only for the group. So guys, if that sounds interesting to you, you can sign up for that below at the pinned comment. All right. I also have a single asset analysis service. If you're just interested in one asset, my views on one asset, high time frame, small time frame, combination of both, just pay the fee, email me, and I'll have it to you within 24 hours. That single asset analysis, more instructions at the pinned comment below. Last but not least, BTCC, my exchange partner for this YouTube channel, is offering 10% cash back if you deposit 500 USDT or more, or the equivalent of 500 USDT on the exchange as a new user. Make a single trade within a week. You should get your rebate, bonus, cashback, whatever, within that time frame. And you can sign up to that with the link at the pinned comment below. Guys, that's it for me. Take care, and Have a great weekend. Bye.
My prevalent time slot, I vocalize too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later.
Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest magnanimous. We body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin.